Even so, everyone became alert, as they didn't know if that knight was on their side. Calm down, this warrior here only obeys what I say. He is not a threat.
Are you sure about that? And why does that specter have the same strength as you?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think it's an advantage of the system. You don't need to worry. Well, maybe he'll be useful at some point, but I didn't expect you to have such an ability, since you always fight on your own, Dad. To be honest, I didn't expect it either, but at least this gives this soldier another chance to fight. Once they finished talking, they all continued exploring that huge snowy place in order to find the strongest being in the area, or rather, in other words, the boss of the portal. As they advanced, they kept encountering more of those giant bears, but they defeated them easily. However, along their way, they saw a considerable number of enemies on one of the hills, forming a complete army, but they seemed to be a kind of intelligent creatures since they were riding horses. Because of that, they all got into combat positions, aiming to eliminate the army of what seemed to be the dungeon boss. However, the leader of all of them approached to speak some words.
Not all of you are humans, but if you interfere, we will attack.
Only Goku could understand their language thanks to the system, so we might be able to get a clue about the origin of the portals and the creatures that always appeared in their world.
We have noticed that you have eliminated several of those giant bears. It shows that you are not ordinary warriors.
This is the first time I can hear one of you. Can you also understand what I'm saying?
Don't tell me you can talk to that thing, Kakarot! Since Goku has access to that strange power, it's not hard for me to believe.
Anyway, they don't look very friendly, so before you kill them, try to find out something. Goku heeded his companion's words, and at that moment he spoke again to Leader Baruka. What brought you here? Why do you attack our world relentlessly?
I don't have to answer your questions, although I might consider it if you defeat one of my soldiers, who is eager to fight against you.
After saying that, one of Baruka's soldiers began approaching him, eager to fight the intruders first. Because of this, Goku explained to the others that the leader of that army wanted them to fight one of his subordinates to reveal what he knew. So, once they knew this, Baruka's subordinate was immediately hit by an energy blast from Vegeta, leaving him completely pulverized. This was because Vegeta didn't want to waste his time with such weak enemies, so he sped things up for Baruka to say what he knew. On the other hand, Goku was surprised to see what Vegeta did, as he didn't expect him to act so suddenly.
Stop fooling around and speak already.
It wasn't necessary to act so impatiently, Vegeta. You might scare him and prevent him from telling us what he knows. After seeing that, Baruka's expression changed to one of surprise, as he didn't expect those warriors' abilities to be so powerful. But instead of getting agitated, he simply began to smile maliciously.
Just as I thought. You are much more interesting than I expected. You have truly amazed me, so I will keep my word.
It seems he's going to talk for real now.
He better, or else he'll be next.
As Baruka looked at each of the warriors, he proceeded to give his response as part of his deal.
The truth is, I don't really know why we are in this world. All I can tell you is that there is a voice in our heads that forces us to kill humans. However, in this case, that voice does not order me to kill all of you, as apparently not all of you are human.
Baruka's words made Goku think for a moment, as apparently, even he didn't know the exact reason why they were there. They were just following orders from someone else. Shortly after, Goku explained this to the others to make them understand the situation, as they couldn't understand Baruka's language.
That voice he talks about might also be limiting their thoughts and memories. That must be why they don't know why they are here. If there is someone above all this, then this place won't give us much information. I think you've talked enough. The point is that we can't let you leave here. We only have orders to attack humans, so the rest of you can choose to withdraw from the battle if you want.
That's not going to happen. We have no reason to leave this place if your intention is to harm humans.
Very well. Then all this talk has been a good waste of time.
After saying that, Baruka's army fired several arrows at all the warriors to start the confrontation. However, all that rain of arrows stopped before hitting any of them, as if a force field protected them. Baruka was astonished by what he was seeing, as it wasn't a shield or something similar. What protected them from the arrows was their own power, which was so overwhelming that their weapons couldn't harm them.
Is that all you can do? Since they have shown that they don't want to yield,
I'm afraid we will have to finish them off right here. Leave it to me. I haven't fully tested my abilities yet, and maybe this is the opportunity.
I guess it will be an opportunity to see how much that system you talked about benefits you.
After saying that, Goku didn't take long to summon his best summon again, the Great Commander Igris. Goku planned to use only him to eliminate Baruka's army. This offended Baruka, as it seemed that Goku and the others didn't take them seriously. What disrespect towards us Hyakis! That's why we will have no consideration now. Baruka raised one of his hands to signal his entire army to attack simultaneously. Due to this action, the system charged Goku with the mission to exterminate each of the enemies, as they had murderous intentions. However, despite the system's warning, none of the Z-Warriors moved one bit, as Igris would take care of it. Thanks to the system, Igris had the ability to share the same strength as Goku to be useful in combat. When the entire army of creatures was close enough, Igris raised his great sword, only to envelop it in energy. And with a single swipe of his mighty sword, he unleashed a massive slash around the entire Baruka army, sweeping everything in his path with that great attack. The rest of the Z-Warriors were stunned to see the capabilities of the Knight Igris, who was now making the most of his abilities by sharing Goku's power. Due to Igris' great attack, a large amount of snow and dust rose up, making it difficult for Baruka to see what had happened at that moment. But when all the snow began to fall, he could only see how his entire army had been annihilated with a single attack, leaving him completely alone now.
This can't be possible? Are we Hyakis really so insignificant compared to these guys?
Baruka wondered as he began to reject such an idea, so he unsheathed his daggers to be the next to fight. The others merely watched as he prepared to attack, but seemed to have no intention of moving.
No! No! I refuse to accept it! The leader of the Hyakis can't go down like this!
A few moments later, Baruka launched himself with all his might against them, moving at great speed to make sure his attack was accurate. But when he looked up to see his enemies, he could only watch in shock and fear as Goku was already in front of him, ready to defeat him once and for all. And a second later, Goku delivered a strong punch to Baruka's stomach, making him cough up blood from the impact and killing him instantly. After Baruka fell, the portal they had entered through finally worked again, giving them the option to leave the place.
If what you've told us is true, Goku, then the real culprit behind the attacks on our world is someone other than these creatures.
Do you think he could be a god or something? I don't think just anyone could be in the minds of so many creatures from different dimensions.
Could be, but at least that would make things more exciting for a change.
So, what should we do now? We should probably split up again to find portals as peculiar as this one.
You may be right, but there's also something important we need to do to get to the bottom of this.
After saying that, Piccolo turned his gaze towards Goku, as he was surely the only one who could get to the person behind the appearance of the portals.
Goku, you were given that system for a special reason, so you must not stop leveling up. Surely, at some point, whoever gave it to you will come back.
If you say so, Piccolo, then it must be true. Alright, I'll keep leveling up as much as I can. We won't let the person behind all this get away with it. Although you'll miss out on the fun if I find them first, Kakarot. We'll see about that, Vegeta. Once they agreed on that, they all resumed their way out of the dungeon, since the exit had returned after defeating the boss there. However, Goku stayed a little longer to see if he could try to extract Baruka's shadow, as he could learn something more from him now that he wasn't being controlled by that voice in his head. But at first, it was futile, as Baruka didn't want to join Goku's shadow army. However, due to Goku's superior power, he ended up recruiting him as one of his shadows under the same name. In addition, the system gave him another reward, which was the ability to be more agile in combat. The system also gave him a blessed box, which provided him with a random reward. This time, the box gave him another key to another special dungeon, which seemed similar to when he faced Cerberus. Goku's goal was clear. He planned to go to that dungeon as soon as he left, as he needed to level up to find the one who manipulated the portals and bring them to his world. After this, Goku left the snow dungeon to resume his journey as well. The rest of his friends had already left to tend to the other portals in the world, so Goku had to get going as well. Alright, it's my turn to level up to finish this, Goku said as he looked at the key he had just obtained, only to then fly off to the place where the system told him to use the key. When he finally reached the designated place for the dungeon, he didn't hesitate to activate the key to make the portal appear. And once the portal opened, Goku entered right away, encountering a place that seemed to be filled with demonic creatures. But to quickly finish off those enemies, Goku quickly summoned his two strongest shadows, namely Icarus and Baruka, who were empowered by sharing Goku's fighting power. But Goku also stretched out his arms, as he also wanted to fight against that army of demons. And a few seconds before the big battle, Goku just said a few words. This is just the beginning.